You got the gift, the gab. This IGSCS SAFMO, your prison lawyer.
Yeah, I just want to say that, I'm out of the grave and yet I'm back amongst the living again. So get out here and let them know what's really going on behind the scenes, behind the walls. You heard one side, now you hear the other side.
I'm putting him in a white chair and grill him up. You know how we do it here. IGSCS SAFMO, your prison lawyer, the smoothest podcast host in podcast history. Tell your girl unblock you. She gonna tell you SAFMO is the smoothest. 58. This is SAFMO, your prison lawyer, and I got a round table of individuals, and I thought that this conversation has been underplayed. Nobody's really talking about it, but we all know about it. ADA is a conversation I want to have, but I also want to have. And ADA is just the American Disabilities Act, and it just deals with the treatment that individuals who have disabilities should have when they go to prison, right? They should, but also health services in general, because a lot of individuals in health services, a lot of people think because prisons have health services, we have the same treatment or getting the same care that they get on the streets. And the problem is that it's not the same care. And that's why I thought when Vava brought it up to me, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm SAFMO, your prison lawyer, the smoothest podcast host of podcast history. This is IGSCS. I got him in the grill pit. I got my man David Islam in the white chair. He leading the crew. I also got my man Vava, but I'm gonna go around the room, let individuals introduce themselves. Go ahead, brother.
I'm David Islam.
Vava Gaddafi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a powerful group up in here today, and like I said, the conversation is gonna be about health services, and health services is the part in the DOC where you go get treatment, where you get your medicine, where anything happen, that's where you're supposed to go. It's supposed to be like a third part of the DOC. It ain't part of the DOC. Health services is health services. So I'm just gonna if Bob, you want to start off the conversation, Baba?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, well, part of the big part of health services is coming from how they feel that you're faking about coming to health services.
Yeah.
You got an element. They think you playing possum. They think you just trying to get out of your cell. They think you just trying to get over. They think you trying to get some extra medication.
Yeah.
We don't need anyway.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Yeah.
The people and the mental side of that too is a big piece that's missing and not talked about. As individuals that we're around that will come into the institution, they need more help than going to health services, and just seeing a lot of people in line marching for their medication, and a lot of marching, even selling their medication and everything else. So even quite a few people we know that passed because they just said, "Oh, just go back to your cell and take some Motrin," and they didn't never recover from that. They were deceased. They passed away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was always a thing about they thought we was faking when we was coming to health service about an ailment.
But the thing about it is, like, I'd never seen is like someone sue health service for acts like that, right?
Yeah.
Like an individual had that situation occur. And my problem with when you brought it up, Bob, when you told me about it, I was like, you damn right. We need to have a conversation about it, because when I had that assault against that CO, part of being in that isolation, when they take you and they put you in that chair, that 6-point chair, and they have all that stuff going on, health services is supposed to be there as a third party, monitoring the situation, making sure nothing happens to you. But they work right along with them COs. Like the lady was telling me, I'm handcuffed, in a 6-point chair, 3-point chair, whatever they call them, with my hands behind my back, handcuffs. You know how they handcuff us. With my back is actually applying pressure to the handcuffs. I sat there for 3.5 hours. Not one time did the nurses say, take them handcuffs off of him. Not one time. And that's what I mean about health services. You know, so it's just ridiculous. I feel like they part of the DOC. And the other thing, when I was sitting outside in Oak Park Heights, I can't tell you how many times they tried to put me on blood pressure medicine and diabetes medicine and all types of medicines. And when I asked the lady, I said, isn't the first plan to anything is the diet? You guys are feeding me dog food. Of course my blood pressure high, my cholesterol high. I haven't had a real fruit in no time. This fruit that y'all giving us, this lettuce y'all giving us has no nutrient. Nothing got any nutrients in it. No wonder we are where we are.
Well, see, that was because, and a lot, also to even go further with that, because a lot of misdiagnosis has taken place also.
Yeah.
And a lot of brothers that come out of the penitentiary with illness that die out here.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I have one that they told me I need to be taking medicine for the rest of my life, but I didn't know that until I got here. But I had that when I was inside the prison.
Okay.
For the 30 years.
Yeah, and they didn't prescribe it out.
No.
But they get it when you get out.
Yeah, when I'm out, so I
Yeah.
said, well, how long have I had this?
Right.
You know, Jamaica passed from that, from cancer.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So a lot, they come out and they sick, and they don't know they sick.
Yeah, well, even with that, so I'm telling you like this, it's like you go in healthy, and because of your diet or whatever, they give you all this medication. You take it for 3-4 years. You get out, now you only can take this medication because now your body is used to it.
Yeah.
So now like I said, the medication, if we even watch those commercials, they got all these side effects to them.
Yeah.
So instead of having a holistic or dietary situation that could resolve the situation, you go into this medication which cause more complications. Now it's shortening your life, and it's increasing they pocketbooks, because I don't know how the situation works, but when you call pill run in the joint, the whole unit, the whole unit gone. Like, how many people need these pills, man?
Yeah, they got them on all kind of medications and stuff, I seen one nurse, she was a supervisor at Stillwater, and I seen her say something to one guy. She told another nurse after the guy left that don't give him a particular medication. And then she's like, why? Because he feel like he's entitled. He got
What the fuck? What the?
She tells the other nurse to shred his file. So instead of the other nurse shredding his file, she didn't do it. She kept it, got a copy of it, then gave it to the supervisor to do shredding.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not finna do that. Then after she got the copy that she got, she gave it to the news anchor, and for them to start an investigation on health services.
Yeah.
Because this supervisor, and then they didn't fire her.
See?
They kept her there. All they did is demote her down from supervisor to a lower position instead of getting rid of her. When this is somebody's life, you done told another nurse to get rid of her because he feel entitled, man, because he's always complaining about his health.
And the thing about it, she should have lost her license to the state of Minnesota.
But they kept her there.
But she should have lost. She should have lost her license to the state of Minnesota, because the part of issues that we dealing with right now, because we felons, is a lot of us can't go into the medical field because we felons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they got these and other individuals in the medical field that shouldn't even be in the medical field. Yeah. And all I wanted to do was come home and be able to take care of my mother and father, because there was really nobody to take care of them, and then they was bringing people in from on the streets to take care of them, and they weren't doing their jobs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, if you just give me the money, it's money in the family, and I'm gonna be able to take care of them. I'm doing this stuff anyway, so let me just do it. But they wouldn't let me do it because I was a felon. And it's just stuff like that that I was dealing with. But I remember one time I was in the gym. I went to rec, and I got nosebleeds. I had nosebleeds. Like when the temperature changes, my nose will bleed. So I go to rec one day, and I get on a treadmill. And I start running on a treadmill. My nose started bleeding. And that one dude and he was sitting in the bubble. and I went up to my nose bleeding or whatever. So he hit the motherfucking buzzer on me, and the squad came down, took me to health services, and it was like, so the guy in the bubble reported an unseen assault. So now you know they trying to investigate, run cameras back. I'm like, no, my nose just bleed because the temperature changed, and they act like they never heard that in their life. Eventually the nurse was like, because she could see my nose hadn't been hit, there was no bruising, so she just used deductive reasoning, which was obvious. And she was like, nah, he good, his nose is bleeding, whatever. But it's just, what I'm getting at is just the fact that they utilize these nurses as COs. Yeah. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the same, because I had, we was just talking about this today. Brother Donald Amos, he had end up having a ruptured hernia. And I said, man, just lay on the ground, just lay down. They're going to respond to you, because when he went to health services, they didn't respond to him. I said, just lay on the ground. Boom. So he did that. They had to respond. Luckily, they did, because he would pass. Because it was ruptured and he wouldn't have been on time. So
yeah, I just don't understand how they're getting away with this, man. It's like, how they getting away with what they doing? Like they charging these people all this money to put in this department that does nothing. But like I say, just pass out. Like when I first got to St. Cloud, you go through psychiatry, psychology. You get the psychotropics, whatever, for anxiety, whatever. But like I said, they pass out this medication. Mostly to make us sleep, you know what I'm saying? To make us not be combative against these guards. But nothing is really done for us to actually help us. That's just how I feel.
And that's how it is, man. Like Vava said, man, they misdiagnose you, and then they want to give you ibuprofen or Motrin for everything. I don't care what it is. You say, they say take the ibuprofen, it's like take an aspirin, call me in the morning, type deal. You know what I'm saying? That's their remedy to every sickness that goes on in that.
Definitely.
And like you said, a brother died from that. Brother when they're complaining about, I forgot what it was, some kind of chest problem or something, they had a cold, they tell him to take the ibuprofen, and
call us in the morning.
The brother died in his sleep.
Let me tell you something that happened to me. I was in B West when I first came over from Faribault about 2012, and they had shut the water down. I didn't know because I'm kind of fresh, and I don't really come out my cell. But they basically told us not to drink the water. It was a memo put up. Yeah. I didn't know.
I remember.
I don't know. So I drink the water. And it must have feces in it or something in it. It had something in it. Because what ended up happening is, like a few days later, I'm in my cell, laying against the wall, getting ready to read a book, and I put my back against the wall, and I had a bull on my back that I didn't even know, and it popped. It was almost felt like somebody stabbed me. It was so much pain. I didn't know what the hell, because I can't see back there. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I eventually get to health services. She's like, "Oh, you got a bull on your back." That's when that one Turbo take me to the Turbo ass take me to the thing. He trying to explain to me that, like, the lady said, you had a bull on you, had a bull in the back and pop. And I'm like, bull, because I'm always like, a bull. What a bull does, it takes the toxins out of your body and it pushes out. Yeah. That's what the bull is, all poison.
Right.
That's what I made the connection between the two. So I'm sitting there with the nurse. The nurse give me all this stuff. She cleaned it out. She's like, you gotta clean this every day. She give me all this stuff, and she's sending me back to my cell, and she like, can your cellie change the bandage? Bitch, who the cellie changed my bandage for me? Fuck wrong with you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is like, then I was like, I ain't got no cellie. That's when I'm a single cell. I'm on a single cell. I'm on the Mo side, on the second tier, and they like, I ain't got no cellies. She's like, well, I'll make up a thing for us to come change your, like, it was an issue. Like, you can't, like, so she made up a little thing, so I had to go out every day, had them clean out my wound and put it on there. But okay, before that happened, like a week before the bull bust on my back, I was feeling real sick. Cause remember that poison's in my body. Yeah. So I feel like I can only compare to if you ever got drunk, like got alcohol poisoning, and you feel like you kind of like woozy, like I was sleeping, I couldn't get up. So during count, they called count, and I couldn't get up.
Yeah.
I was sleeping, I couldn't get up, so they rolled me up for count, and I don't make the connection yet that into the ball busted my back. But that whole week I was going through something, and I didn't know what I was going through, but that was that at that particular time. So I mean, that's my experience. I had nothing but bad experiences with health services throughout the DOC, and I can't believe I can't believe that they ain't been sued. I can't believe that I know they caused a lot of deaths. You know, I know for a fact.
I had this bad experience, but I had who got a hip replacement, and I'm sitting there, I'm in pain, and I'm telling them, you know, they started putting it off, and in order for me to get my surgery, I called my mom. There's a native guy that gave me a card to a news anchor. I called my mom, told her to call these news people and tell them that these people won't give me no surgery. She called the news anchor guy. He called the prison. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden they setting up a conference date. You know what I'm saying, for to see me. So the news anchor came up to the prison, and he asked me what's going on. I told him about everything, about Greg dying, about the other dude over in Bees died because the nurse didn't want to give him mouth to mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of here,
and the
man.
dude ended up dying, and I told him, I said, I'm hurting and they won't do nothing. So after that visit, I forgot what's the director name. Her name
Smith.
No, she went to Lino Lake. She's over the J-Pay line. Heavy set lady. I can't think of her name. You know her name. It's not Sue now, but anyway, she's still there. Anyway, she's in the conference. They have in the conference room. She's still there, and I'm telling everything. I'm telling everything. And so he said, I hope you get to go to. So that following week, they had me to go to a consultant to see about me. He told me it's bone on bone. He said there's no cushion there. He said no cushion there. He said I never seen it this bad. He said it's bone on bone. Told me, I asked him a question, but he said, yeah, that's why you're having all the pain. That's what it is. They tried to tell me it was something else. Yeah. That following week, they were getting me set up to go take a surgery. After my mom called the news people and they put it on there.
And that's the same. It take that. I remember this white dude. I don't know if y'all remember. He worked in the library. Had that long beard.
Yeah.
Remember he go to. They send him out for open heart surgery. He died on the table. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it just But I mean, how long it took? Maybe they could have saved him. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is about that. If you ain't got no loved ones on the outside, they feel like don't nobody care about you, and then they just treat you any kind of way.
They're gonna treat you.
They're gonna treat you. You ain't getting nothing. But when your family, people, because they talk all the time, they want to keep it in house. Mm-hmm. They want to keep it in house.
Yep.
As soon as you go outside, call a family member, somebody call in.
They get right.
Now they're going to get on point and try and take care of what your medical needs might be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember in 2004 in Stillwater, Stan Bolte, he had went to out on a medical to the hospital, came back, and I just went to check on him. And I said, man, hey, you know you bleeding back there, right? Because he was on the side. So I said, you know you bleeding back there. He said, oh man, he put his hand back. He had a lot of blood. And so they had to get him to the hospital. He would have passed too. They did a little surgery procedure on him, but it still was open and it was bleeding like that. So I said, hey man, you bleeding right there. I said, then he put his hand, he said, oh man, that's more than a little bit. That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
And they had to get him out back to the hospital and re-sew all that stuff back up.
That's what scared. That's what scared me. Yeah. Scared me the most about being in the joint. It was just dealing with health services. If something came up with health services, I know I wasn't gonna make it. Yeah. That's how I felt personally. Yeah. You know, like they wasn't on point. They wasn't doing nothing right. They didn't get no fucking. I seen them show the COs more doctor care, nurse care than they sold. Anybody, any one of us.
They do, and it's sad about it. If you get one nurse that will help you, that one nurse, when they find out that nurse is helping you do it, they get rid of her. They get rid of her quick. And that's sad because it's a nurse that do care, and she giving you what you're supposed to need. They get rid of her. If you get a doctor, the doctor said, well, they told me don't give you this. They get rid of him. Yeah. So when there is people that do try to help you in some type of way, form, or fashion, they get rid of them. Like they want people that don't want to help you.
Yeah, that's the reason I thought this conversation was so important is because nobody's talking about it. like I said, even with the disability, people coming in with disabilities, and the fact that they're not getting the care that they need, or like you say, we was talking about Linden and we was talking about Oak Park Heights, but still, that's not care that you need. You like when they send you back to your cell, like that gentleman you was talking about, he needed a caregiver.
Yeah, please.
He don't need to be back in the cell after surgery, because a lot of things can happen. People die after surgeries.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, so like I said, with the ADA, with just health service in general, I just think, like, you know, with everybody talking about gang violence and all this other stuff, and they're missing the point. The point is that you might go to health service and you might not make it back, Jack.
Sure, for real.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate you guys, you know, for coming through, having this conversation with me. You know what I'm saying? I know we got to run on time. You know, we got Brother Islam came through. He was, you know, dropped the signs for us. You know what I'm saying? I know it's going to be a great episode. You guys got anything else you guys want to add to it before I break, before we roll out?
For me, I want family members to be involved in your loved one's life in the institutions or out here, period, that has something to do with your health. To be knowing the history of your family and what different diseases that they have that might pass down, and then they might skip a generation or stuff like that, as far as eating healthy foods and being on top of that stuff, because especially inside the institution is very important that you stay, because they might be misdiagnosed in the institution, and you know they come out or they have passed there, and you try to figure out why did he was so healthy. Why did he pass like that? Well, he didn't know he had cancer that he had for 7 years. And now it didn't ate him up, and now they say, oh, well, you know, you got about 6 months to live. Why is that? Well, you got cancer. Well, how long I had it? You know, so they allow you to let the outside world take care of them, and they'll release you and say, hey, wait, we ain't spending that money. You go out and then you find out you got some fatal disease and pass. So make sure your families be on top of that, sharing that history and talking about it. So that's what I have for that.
What I have is that I agree with him about the health service, about let your family know, because they need y'all to reach out and touch them. You know what I'm saying? To know about their medical history. Also, those youngsters, man, the time ain't thinking what it is, you know, and to be locked up for so long, and some lifers didn't make it out. To piggyback on what Brother Vava said, one lifer named Jamaica, in James, he didn't know he had cancer. And he found out by accident when we were playing basketball. He found out by accident. He passed away by then. It was too late for them to treat it, and he died in prison.
Good brother.
Got set up for him to leave and everything. That's one prime example. You know, and that goes with the Brother Vavo said. And another thing is the youngsters, you go in there and you're not healthy, you're getting fed junk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
From canteen to health services. I mean to child hall. Nothing but garbage.
Yeah, and if you're not taking care of yourself, and like the brother Mo said, you know, you're not getting the fruit, the nutrients that you need.
Yeah, nothing.
You know, can't nobody take care of you better than you.
That's right.
And if you go in there with a mentality with this street stuff on there, you won't make it out of where you think you is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta feed your mind. You can't feed your body unless you feed your mind. Because the body is gonna follow the suit of the mind.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Whatever the mind accumulate is going to dictate to what the body needs to do and go through.
Yep.
So you get in there feeding with as much knowledge as you can to help you continue in life in there to get out here and prepare yourself.
I one of the brothers tell me the body isn't the mind isn't addicted of the body. So what I wanted to say is two things. Is that the first thing is that there's a lot of medical petitions you can file to get out of prison now. You know, I know the commissioner wasn't granting a lot of them, very few of them during COVID time, because COVID gave people a way out of prison. But there's medical releases that's available. You don't necessarily need a lawyer. It's about filing a petition and stuff like that. A lot of brothers don't know about it. Family members who's watching this, you know, get into that, because if you got a person in there with this paraplegic, who's suffering through cancer, who's got any type of they could get a, and they don't have to just be a compassionate release. There's medical releases, because basically what they're saying is that you're costing the DOC so much money, you can go home and not cost the DOC so money. Other thing I want to make a point out, maybe some of these brothers might want to jump back on the mic, is that I noticed a difference in my testosterone level as I got out. What I mean is that my sex drive was different when I went in and then when I got out. And a lot of it has to do with our diets, because the testosterone in your body that's being made is about the food that you eat. And a lot of stuff, that's energy, vibes, everything makes a difference in the testosterone levels. So I noticed the difference in mine. And a lot of it had to do with my body and the foods that I was eating while I was in there for that duration of time. So you don't really know what the food that you're eating is causing to your body, but it does cause, when you're not eating right, not eating the diet's not balanced, it does cause problems, especially as you get older. Yeah. So with that, I said I did notice a difference between my sex drive, my testosterone level. Everything was different when I came out. You know what I'm saying? And it took a while for me to jump back in the saddle. So if you out of the joint and you feel like something's wrong with you, it's usually because you probably need to go to a real doctor and have them look at you and get your shit together. Or it's, like I said, a lot of it's due to just the food that we ate while we was down. Yeah. You know, and the food that we didn't eat when we was down. Right. So I just want to get that. I want to lead that out to you. I want to say what's up to everybody. I appreciate all the support. Get in the comment box. Check us out. Keep supporting us. And I appreciate these brothers coming through, stopping through. They didn't have to. They did. You know what I'm saying? Bless me with their presence. And you know, we created the universe. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna definitely do it, and we're gonna definitely keep doing it. Shout out to my man Ron B in the middle. He's gonna be back in a minute. I know y'all mixed him on the cameras, but he'll be back. You know, our prayers go out to him. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. Let's go smoke. Let's go smoke. Let's go smoke. Yes sir. Yes sir. Mm-hmm. Society and the ability to ask for help, right? So it's contradicting.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, drugs and alcohol were never a big part of my life. They weren't a huge part of my family. And, you know, I had, and this isn't an excuse, the way that I tell people is I went through treatment not to understand why I did what I did, because there will never be a good answer to that, a suitable answer. Right. But what I did go to...
Chad, you were here, Ron. What you got to say about SAS Low saying white MF?
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's America, and you should be able to do and say what the fuck you want. God bless America.